Corruption is a global phenomenon that has always been there at all times, in all countries, all cultures, affecting all societies, causing huge problems, like poor infrastructure, lack of human development, lack of economic development, poverty, injustice, you name it. The list is long.
No es solo que se le quiten recursos al desarrollo, es que el desarrollo deja de ser el juego colectivamente jugado. La gente pasa a jugar otro juego que se puede llamar enriquecimiento privado o enriquecimiento ilícito, y en vez de utilizar la inteligencia, la cooperación, todos los mecanismos humanos que existen para hacer salir adelante las acciones colectivas, pues se produce otra acción colectiva que es el saqueo por parte de una banda o de un grupo, de 2 o 3 grupos, el saqueo del erario público, lo que llaman la captura del Estado, que es la utilización del Estado con otros fines.
Corrupt practices affect in many ways not only the access to public services but also the quality of public services. It generates a decline in confidence in public services, and I think in the long term it even undermines trust in government and in governance, and particularly in democratic governance.
A human development perspective focuses on the impact of corruption on the capacities and liberties of citizens to expand their choices. It highlights the need to focus not only on the economic and political impacts of corruption, but also it encourages the analysis of corruption, its specific sectors, and its impact on certain social groups.
Corruption in the management of services makes education and healthcare expensive for people from all walks of life. Additionally, those who are able to offer informal payments or those who have personal connections receive better services. This automatically denies access to those who have neither. The poor are in the most disadvantageous position. Without the means to make additional payments or personal connections, they suffer from lower quality service.
Insisto, la corrupción no es solo motivada por la persecución de dinero de manera ilícita, sino también el poder estatal de regular, de aplicar o no las leyes, es utilizado de manera perversa para favorecer intereses de algunos en contra de lo previsto en la ley. Hay un costo económico de la corrupción. Ahora, hay motivos legales independientes de los costos económicos de la corrupción. Hay debilidad moral frente a la corrupción independiente de los costos de la corrupción, y hay posibilidad de aprobación o rechazo social de la corrupción, que también puede ser independiente de los costos económicos. Entonces lo que pienso es que si uno coge las 4 cosas, ley, moral, cultura y consideraciones económicas, pues no debería haber corrupción.
In the education sector, corruption reduces the quality of infrastructure. Corruption in the recruitment process damages the quality of education. Informal payments to violate institutional rules worsen the quality of education. Poor families suffer from bribe paying. Those unable to bribe are at an even greater disadvantage.
In the healthcare sector, poor health management transfers costs to poor patients. Poor standards of health for such things as immunization. Long waiting time for services. Poor health outcomes such as in the case of child mortality.
Corruption in natural resources management and environment. Corruption is used for land expropriations. Corruption deprives citizens in general and low-income people in particular of their rights to services such as water, electricity, and environmental safety. People often think that corruption is just a way of life, but every society, sector, and individual would benefit from saying no to this crime. Here are some examples of how you can say no to corruption.
I would emphasize that creating such a culture is the work not only of the governments or politicians or policymakers, but actually of the entire society and citizens. We need to understand that corrupt practices, or behind corrupt practices, we have people, And therefore, it's very important to reinforce the need to strengthen governance frameworks.
Es muy importante en estos días de indignación, indignarse por la corrupción y sobre todo no naturalizarla, o sea, no está en la naturaleza humana actuar de manera corrupta.
In education, future prosperity depends on the quality and performance of the educational system. Ensuring that educational funds are administered in a fair and transparent manner protects the country's most valuable asset, its children. Ensuring that future generations of citizens are brought up to expect corruption-free countries is one of the best tools to ensure a brighter future. Non-governmental organizations and the media can combine knowledge and access to the public to keep educational projects transparent and funding going where it is intended. Supporting a strong education system through donations and advocacy is a good investment for the future. Our teachers not only teach and care for our children, they protect the honor of the very system that we all depend on for our kids. Parents can teach the children the value of integrity.
Hay que formar gente honrada que siga siendo honrada aunque pierda la fe.
In the public health, a well-functioning and beneficial health sector is one of the most crucial services provided to citizens as it saves lives. All society benefits from a functioning health system. Creating linkages between local and national resources and then using the information they have collected to inform the public, allowing fake medicines to enter the market for reasons of greed, for example, can endanger a whole society and do not turn a blind eye to corrupt public sector practices in favor of profit. Healthcare worker trade unions can improve the healthcare system and working conditions of workers, making them less vulnerable to corruption. They can also help root out corruption by adopting a zero-tolerance approach among its members. Access to basic healthcare is a right of every citizen.
In the environment, new projects subject to environmental and social impact assessments followed by public hearings. Decentralization of natural resource management, allowing local people to use resources sustainably and thereby incentivizing resource control and protection. Consumer awareness and collective action. Increased international cooperation and pressure to handle transborder operations.
Since democratic governance is not only an attribute of governments but of citizens, the entire society needs to participate in any anti-corruption strategy. All of the stakeholders need to participate, from civil society, government, private sector, academics, universities, and the media.
It goes without saying that in all sectors, external monitoring, either from the media or oversight agencies, is also necessary.
Por ejemplo, un truquito chiquito, bien zanahorio. Toda cita tenía un objetivo claro, definido, que el que pedía la cita tenía que redactar. Y si en la reunión se salía del tema de ese objetivo, pues se le pedía que pidiera otra cita. Y obviamente nadie nunca dijo, voy a pedir una cita para pedir unos puestos. Conclusión, no pidieron los puestos. Alcanzaron a hablar de gobernabilidad y yo dije, ¿eso es otro tema? Bueno, entonces piden otra cita.
Corruption is also an individual choice. And that individual choice could also be for those two people to say no to that opportunity and pass it on. And that's what I think this Anti-Corruption Day is all about. And that's why I think this campaign, Your No Counts, is a really good idea. It sends a global signal, but also much more, it breaks down the phenomenon of corruption that is so hard to define and detect or even combat to an individual choice. By doing so, it makes it much easier, because when it's an individual choice, then the answer is easy. You can just say no.